Howdy folks, got another clean water instructional video for you. This is how to program the 5900S/BT series water softener. Hey, go ahead and plug the valve in. There's 3 ports underneath here, and the plug will only fit in one of them, and it is the one closest to the outside of the unit, and it's marked P for power over there. When you turn it on, it's going to go back and forth between the clock time with the colon and a 4-digit number, doesn't have the colon in between it. So we're going to go ahead and start programming the valve. We're going to do the clock time side first. Press and release the top button and the clock time will start flashing. To change the ones digit, press and release the bottom button and the ones digit starts flashing. And you can change the value. Press the top button, skip over to the tens place, change its value, hit the top button, go over to the hour, change the hour. Now we've got it set to 3:01. Are we in? Hit the top button to continue through the menu. Are we in AM or PM? We're in AM, we're in PM. And this is where our hardness value, so you look at grains per gallon on your water test, find out what your hardness is. Say my hardness is 16, so I hit the bottom button to make the ones flash, and I hit the bottom button again to change the value. Hit the top button to go over to the next digit, change its value. Let's say I have 16 grains of hardness in my water, and then you go back to the main clock time, and now if you actually noticed, it changed the value there, and now we're going to go program the other side of it. Press and hold both buttons at the same time, and after several seconds the display will change. R2A, sometimes it'll say R12A for the default value. 2 a.m. is generally the accepted time you want to regenerate a unit. If you have multiple units, make sure they're all set at different times, however, for the nights when they do all backwash on the same night, which doesn't happen very often, but it does. Okay, so we're going to go to the next menu option. A077. Softeners backwash generally based on gallons, but you don't want to have a softener go on a really long gallon run and exceed about 24 days without refluffing, without regenerating the bed and refluffing the media. So on most systems, put your A, which is your day override value, put it at 24, so if you don't run through all the gallons, it'll still do a backwash every 24 days. Step 1 is the backwash step. Softeners need 8 minutes, so I'm going to change the 10 to an 8. I was there, I press the bottom button to get to my 0, and then I poke it till I get to an 8. Hit the top button to go over to the tens place. Advance that up to 0. Now it all says 108. 8 minutes on the first step, that's what we want. Press the top button to go to the next. This is the brine draw, which is 60 minutes. It's the default standard value, so you're going to leave that one alone. This is the rapid rinse. On the softener should be 6 minutes, so we're going to press the bottom button to get the ones place to change, poke it again to change it to a 6, hit the top button to advance, change it to a 0, and now 306, we've got it set. We're going to go to the next cycle step. This is how many minutes of water is returned. There's a brine line flow control that limits the water to a half a gallon a minute when it returns. So right now this would return 3 gallons of water, which would be appropriate for a 32K system. You'll look at your guide and determine the number of minutes to put on that cycle step. Next is the capacity of the unit. You might have a 32K or a 48K or a 64K. So if you have a 32K, you're going to change it to say 032, and that's the capacity, which is what the little C is. And so we have it at 32K. The next one is a percentage of lowering the gallons amount so that you don't run out of water between the time the gallons hit 0 and 2 a.m. when it decides to recycle. This is a setting that's useful for people that use a lot of water and have a high hardness. It's not as useful for people that have a lower hardness value. We can go ahead and we'll set this at 10%. And over here and change the 2 to a 1, and so it's going to shave off 10% off of the total number. This is for the Bluetooth, for the legacy app, to download the software to do all the programming off of your device, off of your iPhone device. So you can do that. Those last 2 programmings there are for that. Then you're back You're back to the main menu, the clock time. And now it's got the number of 1800. So we took 16 grains of hardness divided by 32,000, and that gave us a 2,000 gallon run, and then we shaved 10% off of it by adjusting that P. So 2,000, 10% is 200, so that's why it's saying 1800. So now the valve will regenerate when this gets to 0, or 24 days passes, whichever comes first. And that's the programming, folks. Thanks.